We've got Karl Rove here, best-selling author, former deputy chief of staff for one George Bush, 43. I was reading about you, and I was reading about these polls, and I always learn a lot reading columns, and that normally whoever is trailing at this point in the national polls is losing.
Yeah. In the last 9 presidential elections, we had one where they were tied on Labor Day, 2002, Obama won. One where somebody was behind, George W. Bush in 2000, and went on to win. But in the other 7 elections, the leader on Labor Day went on to win.
Is that on a real clear average, or whatever the equivalent is? I mean, or because you always have sporadic polls.
It's gotten better in recent years because we do have averages. Averages are more dependable, but no, it's not all averages. I mean, we have had an explosion in the last 3 election cycles of national polls. But you go back to the 70s and the 80s, and there were not as many polls done by.
One thing you pointed out, Karl, is that rarely have we had ever actually 2 candidates with such high negatives.
Well, we never had 2 candidates. I mean, think about this. At the end of the 1964 election, Barry Goldwater's negatives were 47%. At the end of the 1972 election, George McGovern, who's about ready to win 1 state in the District of Columbia, his were 41. Hers today are 48, and his are 55. So
have those negatives narrowed?
Yeah, they have. In fact, in the last month, she essentially was at her high point on August 7th, both in terms of the ballot. She was up by 7.9 points, and his favorables, unfavorables were, 33, 60 some odd. But since that point, the race has narrowed down to today in the Real Clear Politics average. It's 2.8. It was 3 yesterday, 2.8 today, and his favorables have gone up by 4, and his unfavorables down by 4.
So let's look at this North Carolina poll. Surprised some people. It's just one poll, but it shows for the first time in a long, long time he leads in that state. But that was a state that Mitt Romney won 4 years ago.
Yeah, look, if you look at it, there are 3 red states that Mitt Romney won where he's got to worry. 2 of them he's slightly ahead, Arizona and Georgia, and 1 in the Real Clear Politics average slightly behind, 1.2% in North Carolina. There have been a number of polls there, and he's been relatively close. But he needs to win those states in order to start with the same base that Mitt Romney did, 206. And then he's got to get from 206 to 270. Now, fortunately, he's competitive in 2 big states, Florida and Ohio. He's slightly ahead in Iowa, but if he took all the Romney states plus those 3, he'd be at 259. That still leaves him short by 11 from the 270 number he needs.
The lock that Hillary Clinton has, in other words, safe bets for her, I know that you guys break this down between safe bets, toss-ups, etc. She is still closer to that 270 than he is.
Yeah, if you take the states that the Democrats have won in each of the last 6 presidential elections, she's at 242. All she needs to do, if she carries those, is win 1 state, Florida, and she's at 271 and done. But that's why he's got to take something away. He can't let her have he's got to take a Pennsylvania or a Michigan or, Iowa and Nevada and New Hampshire and something else. But he's got to get himself from that 250, 253, 259, depending on if you calculate Iowa into it, all the way to 270. And that means he needs to take away something that the Republicans haven't been able to win in a long time. Now, we've come close. Wisconsin with 11 electoral votes. Bush came within 5,500 votes of winning it in 2000 and slightly more in 2004. We came within 2.5% in Pennsylvania, which has 20 and enough. We came within 5,500 votes of taking Oregon in 2000. But you got to take something away from the other side, and right now that's going to be an uphill climb.
All right, Karl, great seeing you. Thank you very much.
Great seeing you. Welcome back.
Thank you. I
Thanks
appreciate that, my
me.
friend. Love having you.